turn over containers. You know, we're doing what we can here from, you know, the city standpoint, but we want to prevent any kind of human cases of West Nile. So that's why we felt it was very important that we let all of you know.
When was the last time you saw levels this high?
So I can tell you the years: 2012, 2019, 2022, and so far this year is turning into one of those active years as well.
Why such a high level?
So it varies a lot, right? So that's the big question. We really don't know exactly why. So if you look at, actually, we talked about it, what was the weather conditions in 2012? Well, that one was a very dry spring and kind of hot, but we've had a relatively wet spring, so it's completely different. So we don't know exactly why, but please remember that this is a bird mosquito, you know, cycle, disease. So who knows really what is happening in those birds, and but it's here. So that's why we wanted to make sure everyone is aware.
Are you seeing any neighborhoods that are having more activity than others?
So right now, well, we don't know why, right? So historically, we've had parts of the city that has been pretty active. So actually 2018 and this year is kind of on the west bank of New Orleans. But in 2012, it started, 2018 and this year is on the east bank. In 2012, it started on the west bank. So I would say not to be so worried about location, because birds move around. This mosquito can also move very far distances. So what I would say is it's in our vicinity. You should all be taking it seriously, and everyone should taking those precaution measures.
As of this point, no West Nile cases?
Nope, the state has not called us. So we are advised, actually we work with the epidemiologists at the Department of Health. If they have a travel case of something, or if there's a local case of arboviruses, West Nile, whatever it may be, they're very good about calling us and telling us the 100 block so that we can then go ahead and do the abatement that we need.
So Zika and dengue fever were big deals a couple years ago.
They were.
Are they still issues?
So they are not. So Zika, not so much. We haven't had, that's not really been an issue here. We do get travel cases of dengue occasionally. So again, the Department of Health calls us. It could be malaria travel case or even dengue. But so far, so good. We do have competent vectors. It's a different vector, right? So Aedes aegypti is the big vector with dengue and Zika. It is here. They are competent. We know that. So, this is a great point. So and we have cruise ships and lots of visitors to the city of New Orleans. So when you are traveling somewhere, it's really important for you to look at those notices of that particular region where you're traveling. So if they are having local cases of dengue or chikungunya or yellow fever or malaria, for example, you need to make sure that if there is a vaccine for yellow fever, that you actually take it before you go. But when you are there, let's say in the Caribbean, wherever it is that you are, make sure you're taking precaution. Wear repellent. You have to pay attention so that when you come back, right, you may feel okay when you're on that airplane or on that cruise ship, but if you come back and you develop a fever, not feeling very well, it is time to go to the doctor right away, and don't forget to tell them that you were traveling so that they can put it together, right? What we don't want is to have local transmission of any of those viruses here. So that whole notification part is very important.
Can you talk more about your mosquito fish program?
Sure. So I'm going to send that over to Alex. He'll talk about it.
Sure, yeah. So these are a great tool of ours because they can last a lot longer in these water bodies than maybe a chemical that we would have to go and retreat. So citizens use them a lot. We've used them after Katrina and abandoned pools and after major hurricanes, but people that have ponds out in their front or a large fountain that's not functioning or any kind of water feature that would really be big that they know is breeding mosquitoes. And one thing that we also tell citizens, look into that water. If you see kind of these little insects wiggling around and you see that little siphon, you most likely got mosquitoes in there. And so this is a program they can call us at our office or put in a 309 request. We'll provide them free fish, either by pickup or by or drop off at their location, and then we will keep monitoring with them. If they need more, they can always reach back out to us, and we'll give it to them whenever they need it. So we use it as a tool for some of the things that we see here, but also as a tool to give to citizens.
It's just for Orleans Parish residents.
Just for Orleans Parish residents,
Does
yes.
Jefferson Parish have anything similar, do you know?
I'm not sure, I've seen that other parishes have used it. I'm not exactly sure if Jefferson Parish is doing a free program to give it away. But if anyone wants to look into it, they're called Gambusia athens. So that's the local species that we have here. They're in our ditches, in our canals, naturally, so we're not adding any, invasive species into these water bodies. But it would be different in different parishes. They would have to look at what their local species are.
Thank you.
Of course. Spray notification.
Yep, and so for folks in Orleans Parish, if you're interested in getting on our social media feed, we're at NOLA Mosquito. So we are always posting information about mosquitoes, but it may also be information about rodents, other pests, things like that, just general entomology. But we also post where we're gonna be if we're spraying, so that's important. Facebook, X, Instagram, we're all there. You can also sign up for press releases. So anytime we're spraying, we're doing area-wide spraying, we're gonna put out a press release. Oftentimes we're making those decisions that same day. So we never spray on a schedule. As Alex had mentioned, we look at the data, right? The weather, the data, what is coming in to make those decisions. But if you get on those press release notices, they'll send it out to you so you know where we will be in your particular, part of the city. I do want to mention just one quick thing. Many of our surrounding parishes also have mosquito abatement programs. So folks that maybe are not in Orleans and are watching this today, call your local district and they'll be able to respond to some of your questions. In Orleans, you can always call 311 if you're having a mosquito issue, you see a problem, just make sure you let us know. Maybe there's a swimming pool that's not, with the filters not circulating. So please let us know. We send folks out to take a look. So with that, thank you so much, everybody. We do appreciate you coming out and meeting with us. But please feel free to get some videos and look at the microscopes back there. We've got some mosquitoes for you to look at. All right, thank you. Thanks, guys. That was good, appreciate it.
Maybe I could take a small stack of these.
And I have the
Yeah, so
fog
I'm
truck
about to make a
downstairs, so
whole bunch
whenever
of
you guys
new
want,
ones.
I'll
Matt,
walk you guys
let me
down
know
there if you want
what
to see that truck or
post-
get
what
any
kind of
shots of
posts
that.
you
if
want.
have that.
Because we've got staff right now.
Of course, yeah.
I took some.
We have 3 different